Hello and welcome to the Daily Bible Podcast. My name is William Hemsworth. Thank you for joining me for today's show. Today we're starting Matthew chapter 12 and we're going to look at verses 1 and 2 today. Alright, so we're just going to hop right in. Matthew chapter 12 verses 1 through 2 say, "At that time Jesus went through the grain fields on the Sabbath. His disciples were hungry and they began to pluck heads of grain and to eat. When the Pharisees saw it, they said to him, 'Look, your disciples are doing what is not lawful to do on the Sabbath.'" Now there's a differentiation between hunger and harvesting for profit. You see, the Sabbath laws prohibited harvesting for the purposes of profit. The disciples were not doing that. They were plucking heads of grain because they were hungry. They weren't plucking it to go out to the fields. They weren't plucking it to go to the markets and to sell for profit. That's the big difference here. And so the Pharisees are charging the disciples with violating Exodus 34:31, which is that specific law that prohibits harvesting on the Sabbath. Now what's interesting is that Deuteronomy 23:25 makes the differentiation between harvesting and plucking. It makes a differentiation between harvesting for profit and doing it because you're hungry. It makes that differentiation very clear. But the Pharisees ignored that. They were being very rigid. They were finding any way possible to condemn Jesus. And so they hardened their hearts to the fact that someone was hungry. And we see this throughout the Gospels as well. We see them mad at Jesus because he's healing on the Sabbath. We see that many times. And here we see that the Pharisees are upset because someone who is hungry is plucking a grain of wheat to eat. They're being legalistic. They're missing the purpose of what the law was, which was to bring people closer to God. And they were implementing this heavy burden on people, ignoring their humanity. So I think that's a big difference as well. And another interesting thing while I was researching today's passages was St. Hilary's commentary on this passage on Matthew chapter 12, verse 2. And he was kind of looking at it from an allegorical type of view. And so he was saying that Christ passing through the field kind of signifies a passing into the world through the incarnation. And the standing grain is the harvest of souls ready to believe the gospel and to be gathered into the church by the hungry disciples. So I thought that was very beautiful imagery by that church father, St. Hilary. So I just wanted to share that with you today as well. And so as we go forward today, let's not be like the Pharisees. Let's look at, people are human. We need to recognize their humanity. Even though we may not agree with what they're doing. Everyone deserves to be loved. Everyone deserves to be treated with respect. So let's go today. Let's show that love of Christ. Let's show the world that they are valued. Let's show the people out there that they're valued. So many need that today. Well, God bless you. Thank you for joining me on this episode of the Daily Bible Podcast. Hope it was helpful. Have a great day, and God bless you all.